What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Karen Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot 1025fm.com.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. It's been a while. It's been a good little time frame since we've talked. About a week or two, I want to say. But happy Wednesday. I'm glad y'all are back tuning in with me. Of course, I'm going to go over my last couple of weeks here, kind of go over that in return, and then we can kind of get into the subjects I got today. Both of the subjects kind of tie into each other. They may be kind of unrelated, but I feel like they tie into each other in a way. However, let's talk about these last couple of weeks. First things first, I definitely have to go ahead and talk about the fact that my trip to London, man, first international trip. As you all see, I made it back in one piece, healthy and happy. Let me tell y'all one thing I didn't like about that trip. I lost 25 pounds in 1 week on that trip. We did a lot of biking around with the electric bikes and scooters and, a lot of moving. And, I guess that's probably part of it. Plus, better eating. The food over there is better quality. It tastes so fresh, so nice. Man, I can't even tell y'all. Like, normally I have a bowel movement every single morning, 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. And out there, I didn't have to worry about all of that. My stomach wasn't upset, wasn't hurt. Like, none of that happened. It was pretty much cool, calm, and collective. Like, I could eat anything I wanted. Coffee is the only thing I can't eat or drink anywhere. Coffee, regardless of where I go, it's gonna mess with me. It's gonna do your boy some it's gonna give you some stomach issues. But it is what it is. That's how coffee works. Regardless of that, though, everything else was great. The food, whether it was cereal or milk I ate, or it was cheese, or even if it was McDonald's, like, all of it tasted so fresh. It tasted like, I don't know how to explain it. Tasted like it wasn't that, like the chicken was tasting fresh. Like, even on their damn chicken wraps, by the way, their chicken wraps are only $2, £2 each. And they're pretty big chicken wraps, like the bigger ones, from not the small ones that they used to give you for $1, the real big ones. But everything about that place was, man, it was nice to have a mental reset in a way. I told everybody, I said, the biggest take I got from going out there was the fact that I felt free. I ain't have to, and I'm saying this to be funny, but I have to worry about them badass kids. I mean, my kid's not bad, but still, just to be funny. I didn't have to worry about nothing. It was more so of a mental reset. I took care of everything before I left, so that way home will be good. Made sure I left a little bit of money there to make sure everything was okay as well. All in all, though, it was nice to have that mental reset to go out there and say, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. The only thing I had to worry about out there was doing the show, which I did the show while I was out there. Everything else kind of fell into place. So I was excited to be able to come back refreshed and rejuvenated. It was nice to go out there and see the different kind of culture in a way of how they are. Again, they're very, very respectable people. And you know me, like, I'm huge on respect, so I love it. But one thing I didn't like about them is they're a little standoffish as well, which I kind of get. But at the same time, it's like, hey, to each his own. I did have a couple of moments out there that just made me feel a little eerie, but I kind of, being black, that's everywhere you go. You just got to kind of learn to deal with it and, sweep it under the rug and let people apologize when they can for, getting things misconstrued or accusing you of things that shouldn't be accused of. So I thought it's good to have proof and receipts, man. So when people say something to you, you got evidence. But other than that, man, I love the fact that I could see all the monuments. Like, I went to see Big Ben, went to see the Eye of London, went to see the London Bridge. There was a few other things we went out there and we saw. Some of the statues they had up was great to take pictures and photos of. The entire trip was just insane to me because I've never been out of the country, let alone been somewhere where people are so helpful and respectful. Like, I literally, let me tell you how cool it is. I was getting currency exchange and I dropped like maybe 200 pounds in cash, just scattered out, dropped it. And do you know that everybody sat there and helped me pick it up to give it to me instead of trying to just take it? Like, it was just like, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? My money went everywhere and everybody's bringing it back to me instead of running off with it. That was a pretty nice thing. I'm not saying that doesn't happen back here in the States, but when I tell you, at least everybody that was doing it looked like they were just wanting to help, not with no ill will or malice behind their smiles. Um, but like, I wish I could show you guys everything that's been happening and what I did out there. For some odd reason, I've only been able to upload the video where I do pictures, but I've been trying to upload videos to my TikTok, kind of like my experience in London. I got a few different videos I've been trying to upload. But for some reason, after I edit these videos, TikTok is not letting me upload them. It just keeps giving, they get to about 90%, 91%, and then it just gives me an error to doing that. So I'm not sure where it's coming from and why it's doing that, but I've reached out to TikTok support. I've uninstalled and reinstalled the app. I've tried to save the videos to my phone and just re-upload them that way. It won't even save to my device. It's just, I don't know what's really going on with that lately, but it's kind of holding up my content, because for the first time, I came back from out of town and I got to work on my content, and now I can't even upload it. It's been doing this for about a week now, and I'm over it. You know, I'm not over it, but I'm just hoping that I can get this situated and get it taken care of, because it's a bit of a slap in the face to have all this content ready and I can't show it to anybody. Like, I want to show you guys how great of a trip I had, how much fun I had visiting the different shops, the different stores. Even so much as the Krispy Kreme I went out there to see, it was pretty dope. I even got me a little Krispy Kreme London, what do you call it? I don't want to call it a flask. It's like a water bottle, and so to say. Anyway, all in all, it was great. So I'm pretty happy about that. I came back ready to tackle every single thing. And then I realized something. When I came back, I started back, if you all didn't know, I started back my other job. You know, I've been doing it for a few days now, been back for a few days. But that's not to say I can already tell. For instance, I worked the other job already about 50 hours a week, right? 45 to 50 hours a week, depending on the week, sometimes even more than that. But from doing that, and then Sunday's my only off days for sure now. Sunday's the only days I get off. I'm here Monday through Thursday. I'm there Tuesday through Saturday. So Mondays are truly my only days off, which I try to spend with the kids for the most part, you know what I mean? Because my children definitely love spending time with me, and they kind of get mad that I'm gone so long. All in all, though, I can tell that the two job thing, because it's been a couple of months since I've been on the schedule of working when and where. So I can tell you now, I can see I'm going to be tired. I have to manage my time more. I have to make sure that I'm not BSing and bullshitting around. On top of, with the two jobs, there's an arranger's exam I got to study for that I have to try to get it done by the 1st or 4th of November. I think I'm going to aim for the 1st, get it out the way. I've been studying, I've been using Quizlet as well as the handbook that, I was sent to me. Thankfully everyone here looks out to make sure I can pass that exam. But on top of all of that, even though the second job only been about a weekend, along with all of those kids I got at home and trying to rest and trying to be a good dad and all of that good stuff. I'm exhausted, man. I am exhausted. I have been so tired lately, man. I get it though. It's because I'm only getting about 4 hours, maybe 5 if I'm lucky, hours of sleep. Sometimes I can't, I'm up kind of late. Even though I'm up late, like I'm trying to do something productive with that time because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just sitting there doing nothing. But I'll be honest, the last day or two, I kind of just been playing the game. That's my woosah time. That's my get an hour or two in just to kind of be like escape reality and just, worry about the video game. Nothing else right now. So the last couple of nights that has been that, but I've also been getting some better sleep because I haven't been up all night. I kind of go to sleep a little earlier playing the game, so that's pretty cool. But normally I'm up so late because my brain is just it's in overdrive. It's an overdrive. I want to worry about the jobs. I want to worry about the kids, the exam. Doing all of this at once, it's so overwhelming, and I just got to remember to kind of calm down and relax, right? Take some time to myself, whether that means that I have to go every Sunday or every other Sunday or once out the month on a Sunday, I need to go get me a room somewhere and just sit in there the whole day and just sleep or relax or kind of chill or hang out, like whatever the case may be. I always make sure home is good before I leave it, right? Of course, I don't want home to be falling apart in the fact that I'm only gone for 24 hours. So definitely want to make sure that's a point to be taken there. But I just got to remember the two jobs thing. It's something to get accustomed to. I've not done it for a couple of months, so my body has to readjust to working all day and all night. The good thing is, man, or the good thing is, like, I'm blessed to have another job that works around the schedule I already have. And the fact that the other job can actually, understand that I do have another job. So sometimes I won't be able to pick up those hours they want me to pick up. I won't be able to pick up those things or the extra shifts that they may have available because I'm here already. So the respect is a two-way thing, and I'm glad that we have that down packed because otherwise it would be horrible. It would be horrible. Traveling though, that was part of go with the London thing. One thing I realized with that whole trip, traveling in itself can be exhausting. Traveling in itself can be so tiring. It can be so overwhelming because not only if you're taking more than one plane and they're not connected flights, you personally have to pick up your bags, go to the next airline, another bag check, pay additional fee. It's just traveling. It's just, man, you have to really know what you're doing and getting into before you get there because I'm telling you, it will frustrate you and irritate you sometimes. It will get you to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here for the night. Fuck the plane, but you can't do that. You can't do it. All in all, with all of that being said, on how busy my life has been, man, I do want to give a shout out to my Falcons. We rose up a couple of weeks. We beat the Saints. They not marching anywhere. Then we turned around and beat the Buccaneers in overtime, which we made them buck their way back home. So we're doing pretty well so far. Next week we have the Panthers, Carolina. I'm not saying it's an easy game, but I have a feeling we can come away with the win. But again, they're division rivals, so it could go either way. I'm just looking at my team like we're going to take another win and we'll be up even more next week. We'll see what happens on the Sunday. If we take home that win or if they give us another loss, which, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All in all with that, let's that said and be done all in all together. Also, my kids, man, I can tell that they miss me. When I came back from that trip, you can instantly tell my kids miss me. Junior, though, my youngest son, he really thinks he's Spider-Man. So, now that he's not sidestepping anymore, he's actually learning to walk and move and climb. My boy is starting to climb up on the kitchen sinks and stuff. And it is getting a little hectic because you'll just hear something going on and you go in there and the counters are opening and closing and it's him trying to get into the counters on top of the stove or top of the sink. And I'm like, man, how are you getting up there? You got to stop that before you hurt yourself. So all in all, I think he thinks he's really Spider-Man because, when you go in there and you see him, he'll just, start smiling and laughing at you. Or when I took a picture, it's like, cheese, But the little boy is dangerous and I got to watch out for him. He's destructive and he's a daredevil and it's not going to work out right. None of my other kids were this curious. And I'm just learning how to approach it this time because I don't want him to feel like he's hindered to what he can do, but he has to be careful in what he's doing. So it's just kind of a, place where you're stuck, or it's kind of a thing where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But, kids are very curious. So you got to kind of let that be gone and let that be known. But kids also need structure and discipline. This is one that I want to make this not too fast or not too quick, or not too long, but also not too fast. Our kids are here for us to lead them. They require us, and they're not going to tell you that because they're kids. They don't know any better. But our children require us to give them discipline. They require us for structure, to learn and behave, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, right from wrong, those kind of things. And my issue with a lot of these parents in today's society around my generation is that you guys are more so concerned with being these children's friends instead of being their parent. I say this all the time. It's probably not the first time you heard me say it. And it won't be the last time you hear me say it. But I can be friends with my kids when they turn 21, when they're legal or old enough to have a drink. You know what I mean? Or even at 18, we can have some kind of friendship. But until that moment comes, I'm not here to be your friend. I don't care if you don't like me or you don't like that we don't get along. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to raise you and show you discipline and respect. And if I got to do that by not being your friend, then so fucking be it. Excuse my language, but don't excuse my language. So fucking be it. You are my child, and I will raise you to be a respectable person. Because an undisciplined child becomes an undisciplined teen, and they become an undisciplined adult. And we all know what happened to undisciplined adults, especially black kids, black adults. It ain't gonna be pretty for you. I refuse to let mine fall into that category or fall into that stereotype. So I don't care about being your friend. I don't care if you don't like me and you want to go to sleep mad at me for the next 5 nights. Just know at the end of the day, I'm going to always love you and I always want the best for you. When you become a parent or you become an adult, you're going to appreciate everything I've done for you and the way that I tried to raise you, because you'll see at the end of the day, I'm just looking out. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be resentful or spiteful. I just want to make sure that you have a better life than I had growing up. And everybody else is like, well, Let me make their lives easier by hiding reality from them. And when you want to keep shielding these kids from reality, you're not teaching them how to survive in that. You're teaching them how to hide from it. And the last thing I want my kids to grow up and say is, why didn't you teach me, if you love me so much, why didn't you teach me how to survive in those moments instead of protecting me from it? Because I can protect you all day long, but when I'm gone and you got nobody to protect you, how are you going to know to defend yourself? You won't, because I didn't teach you those things. And that's a part of being a parent. You're not going to like me a million times. Your feelings are going to get hurt a million times. But as a parent, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, because hurting your feelings is showing you reality, respect, discipline, structure. If I have to do that to make that happen, so be it. I'd rather you be in a position where you're knowing what to do and you're growing from everything, instead of a position where you're comfortable just being stagnant. You don't want to grow or be a better individual. You want to be spoiled and not have anything, work for it all and have it handed to you. But that's not the way the world works. The world works off of hard work. You know what I mean? You have to have hard work and good ethics. That's what I like to say. Yeah, you got people that probably don't have good ethics that made it in life, but karma's karma. They probably had a million other things we don't know about happen to them. But in this situation, I'm not out here trying to raise these kids to be disrespectful and talking back and cursing people out for no reason. Yes, I want them to defend themselves. I want them to act accordingly, to be professional, to be respectable. I want them to know that when and where to cross that line. If somebody is consistently being disrespectful to you, there's different ways that you can go about doing that, but you don't have to act out of violence and neglect every single time. Or negligence, not every single time. You can be professional and be calm about it. People don't understand that being respectfully telling somebody to fuck off is one of the biggest traits that you can have and know how to use and utilize. I kid you not. I don't have to sit up here and tell you to fuck off to tell you to go fuck off. I can simply tell you something like, you know what, I get it. Our lives are on two different paths, and yours is headed down the path I do not want to follow. I'm headed for greatness. I'm headed for growth, and I do not want to be on the end that you are on. But you have fun with that. You know what I mean? I didn't have to cuss you out to tell you to fuck off. I just simply told you that I'm going to live a better life than you choose to live, because yours is heading down a path of bullshit in my eyes. Simple as that. But my kids are not going to be these kids out here and they don't know how to respectably talk to an adult, or they don't know how to sit up here and approach the situation the right way instead of with anger and violence. Like, I don't want that for my children. I want them to understand that I went through it so that they don't have to. I did. I went through it so they don't have to. And instead of me making them try to go through it, I'm going to teach them how to survive in it. I'm going to teach them how to do it themselves. So yeah, if my kids are falling, no, I'm not going to be there to pick them up every single time. I'm going to be there watching, like, okay, maybe this time they can go ahead and actually, instead of them actually trying to fall, they can see, okay, maybe I shouldn't go that way or run that fast because I keep falling every single time. You know what I mean? So all in all, just kind of be better for it and let it be known on what the situation may be. But simply, I just don't want it to be something that my kids have to feel like they're hiding from, if that makes sense. Because that's never the case. I feel like my kids need to know that you can approach any situation the way it needs to be approached. However, I don't need you going in, in the blind rage, for lack of a better word, when any situation pops up. I want you to be able to go into a situation, any environment, and say, let me process this, think about the actions and steps I got to take, and then possibly go from there, right? Instead of trying to make it a big deal or a big issue. So my thing to you all is, like, stop trying to be these kids' friends. They got plenty of friends going through school. Let them learn how friendships work throughout school. They don't need you to be their friend either. They do need you to be their parent. I will give you that. They do need you to be their parent. And some of us need to work on that. And no, I'm not the perfect parent. I am still learning. I am still growing. But one thing I've realized is a lot of people want to be friends with their kids. And my kids aren't grown yet for me to be friends with them. So until then, I'll be a parent and I'll be their teacher and their leader and go from there, So sorry to say. That's just how I feel about it. If y'all don't like it, I get it, you don't like it. But at the same time, y'all have these kids going up to these schools and they are talking to these teachers crazy, starting fights with them, being disrespectful. You got them going out to the real world thinking that they can just talk to anybody anyway without any real life consequences. Because whether you're a kid or not, if you're going to be disrespectful in a public place to me and your parent is not around, I don't have to say anything or do anything to you. But when you start being disrespectful and I call the police, you can still go to child haven or juvenile. You still got consequences. And if your parents want you to be there for that, then hey, so be it. You know what I mean? Or if my kid is the same age as your kid and it's going on and my kid defends me, hey, I didn't tell my kid to whoop your kid ass, but my kid saw your kid being disrespectful, so he jumped in. And I would never physically tell my kids to do anything to harm anybody else, because I want them to have a mind of their own. But part of me letting them have a mind of their own is saying, hey, look, well, Dad, I just felt like since it was somebody my age, you couldn't do nothing, but I could do something about it. And it's not like I'm gonna go around like, oh yeah, do that every time. I'm gonna have a talk like, look, I get you was trying to help, but next time don't put yourself in that position. Because I would never want to put my kids in a position where they would be in trouble. You know what I mean? I never want that. Because the first thing everybody's gonna do is, well, the dad let him, and it's like, no, 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 no. I don't let anything happen. My child saw that I was defenseless against a kid that was their age and they stepped in. I mean, nah, that's not right. I'm telling y'all that's not right. It shouldn't be happening. But would you ever get mad at your child for trying to defend you? Not at all. And I'm pretty sure before it even got that far, I'd be able to stop my child from doing anything because I'm pretty quick on my feet. So I'd be able to keep it cool, calm, and collected. But let's just like to play double. I like to play devil's advocate every once in a while, so I'll say that. But all in all, man, y'all gotta understand that these kids need to learn respect. They need to learn discipline. They need to have structure. They can't go out thinking that the world is all fairy tales and rainbows, and they can just do and say anything they want. They need to learn that real life has consequences, regardless of what you may have learned at home. Out in the real world, there are more things that you kind of got to pay attention to. Be more respectable in general. The next one, man, I want to make this kind of short and simple, but I kind of don't. But I'm going to do it because I want to get into the little articles I have pulled up. Me and Diamond were at home, and we were having this conversation about Rashida. Kirk and Rashida. I'm sure y'all know Kirk and Rashida. I don't know if it's Love and Hip Hop or I don't know which one it is. But we were talking about the fact that I feel differently on everybody than they do about Rashida. I feel like, and again, y'all might torch me for this. Y'all might cook me for this for sure. But I'm gonna give y'all my honest opinion when it comes to this. Rashida and Kirk are married. Okay, they've been married for 25 years now, since '99, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing I give Rashida credit for is the fact that she said, I'm going to stick by my man regardless. She took those wedding vows seriously through sickness and in health till death do us part. Okay. Now, let me start by saying this. I'm not saying that she deserves everything that man has put her through. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying that is, regardless of what they have went through, she has decided to stick by her man's side and continue to try to make her marriage work. Okay. I simply give her credit for that because, man, like you are living by the book when they say a Christian woman, when they say stick by your husband, stick by your man, stick by your mate or your spouse through anything that may come across. You are there to stick it through with them. And through everything that they've been through, man, she's stuck through. She's been there. She's been down. Y'all know she's not going to leave. She don't plan on leaving. And here's why I give her credit for that. It's because, one, you stuck to your vows till death do us part. Two, I think Rashida realizes the kind of world we are in when it comes to dating and a partner, right? I think on one hand, she's looking at it like, I could leave, but at the same time, if I left to go be with another man, that other man is most likely going to cheat as well, do the same things been going on. But will that man provide and take care of me like Kirk has? Will he be there for me and do what I need him to be done as far as, financially making sure the home is okay and kids are okay and I'm okay? So it's like, why leave an okay situation to be in a worse situation? Yes, her husband is stepping out, but at the same time, like what y'all always say, the man is taking care of home and doing everything he needs to do at home. You should be mad over a little cheating. And again, this is people are saying, this is not my thought process and my logic. This is just what people are saying. Why get mad at her for the fact that she's upholding those wedding vows, one, and that she's kind of looking at the bigger situation, the bigger picture, like, why start over with another man when they're not going to do half the things that he's doing for me? And that's just how I see it. That's what I'm looking at. You can just tell that she's just like, she knows that shit is wrong, but she just keeps telling, like, why y'all want to keep talking about my shit? That's how she feels. Why you want to keep talking about my shit? Like, we know I got shit going on, but why y'all keep talking about just my shit like y'all shit don't stink too? So all in all, I give her credit because she's sticking by her man. She is staying with him through hell and back, through anything. And I give her kudos for that because a lot of women are walking away at the first sign of something. And then they're complaining that it's happening in every other relationship afterwards. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that's doing more than you want, and you just got the cheating going on, you're probably going to stay with that. Like, well, shit, if it's just cheating, I'm okay. Because I deal with men that's cheating and they're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not taking me out on trips. They're not making sure I'm okay financially. They're not making sure I got a roof over my head. Like, some of these women are just getting fucked and that's it. That's all they can get from it. So I give credit to Rashida because she's sticking to her marriage vows and she's sticking by her husband and kind of just going by the book. Hey, y'all can say what y'all want, but that's a wife right there. I mean, again, she don't deserve anything that's happening to her, but she took her marriage vows seriously. I don't realize why y'all are not giving the same energy to Chrissy Lampkin, Jim Jones' girlfriend, because that whole situation is just mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I brought that up to Diamond. I said, okay, well, if everybody's so upset at Rashida, why are they not upset at Chrissy? Because not only did she propose, 200 times? I'm probably over exaggerating, which I am, but not only did she propose a few times and that didn't work out. I mean, I know he proposed too, that didn't work out. But now you got almost 20 years later, well, 18 at the time, and now you're saying you don't want marriage. But the whole point of you being on your little issue was the fact that you wanted a commitment, you wanted marriage. Now here we are 18 years later. The marriage isn't as important to you. Here we are 20 years later, and it's like, well, you don't know what's going on. But that situation to me is like, she been had the opportunity to leave and she didn't walk away. So why are we so set on Rashida when Rashida has the ring? She's got the family. She's got everything you got going on. And Chrissy is just still a roommate. I'm being funny. But Christy changed her mind. It's been 20 years. That's what I mean by that is, I mean, I'm not mad at her for changing her mind. I'm not mad at Christy for changing her mind. I'm not mad at nothing that's going on. My thing about it is, like, I feel like it's the same situation. One just has a ring and one doesn't. So it's like, now that Christy changed her mind, it's like, are you going to leave or are you going to just stay dealing with the roommate situation or girlfriend situation? I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me. My thing is, like, let's give them the same energy. I feel more comfortable allowing what's going on with Rashida because they're married. And I'm not saying that she deserves anything that's happening to her. But based off of, the two situations, like, she's got a bit of a foundation there. I'm not saying that they don't either, but I don't know. To me, I see the growth in it where it goes from Chrissy changing her mind from 20 years later. I get it. But at this point, if you change your mind 20 years later, that means you may not need to be in that situation. It's not the situation. Jim is a friend. He wanted to get married. She just doesn't want the relationship. Oh, see, I don't keep up too much like that, but it looks like she just don't want the relationship in that capacity anymore. So I'm like, I get it. I mean, I do, but I don't, because I just feel like if y'all been together for 20 years already, you know what? That's part of my problem. I shouldn't even say that. If she is liable to change her mind, if she feels like something does not see fit to where it should be, changing her mind is a good thing, because maybe she finally comes to a realization. She finally came to a realization of exactly what's going on in the kind of situation that they are in. Not that she doesn't want a relationship. The marriage certificate isn't as important. I did read that. I will say I did read that, how she stated that she thought that the commitment was something that was needed in the relationship, but she realized that that's not the bigger picture, or for lack of a better word, somewhere around that. So that it was not exactly what they needed or what they were settled on from this point forward. So congratulations to that. But I just say, don't allow no more bullshit. Walk away. Call it a day. Rashida, on the other hand, hey, if you want to leave, you have to make sure you get a divorce and get that finalized and done and taken care of. But again, I don't see that happening, because she just she know what she in for and she just accepted it. Again, she does not deserve anything that's being done to her. I gotta repeat that, because y'all be trying to cook me for trying to say, oh, you said it was okay. I did not say that. I was telling you just from a viewpoint of what it looked like to me. But that goes into this next conversation, kind of like, because I don't know if it's for sure with these two women, right? Because I don't know I'm only on the outside looking in. When we see reality shows, we don't know the full details. But being alone, I think a lot of people are struggling with the fact of being alone. And it's weird to me. It's so crazy. Like, being an adult, part of being an adult is realizing that sometimes you may have to be alone. Now, if you got kids or not having kids, let's exclude that from the conversation, because I think you need to learn, when I say being alone, learning how to, be self-dependent, right? Because when you got kids, you can't depend on your kids for nothing but love. That's what they're gonna give you. You know what I mean? And headaches. But let me talk about being alone, then I'll go into the topics. One of them said, this was an AI response, okay? And I brought this up because I just kind of like the route it's going, but I got another article actually to read from. Learning to be alone can help you feel more relaxed and recharged, and can contribute to your overall well-being. Here are some tips that might help. So it says set aside time for yourself, schedule regular periods of time to spend alone, and think of it as a positive thing, right? I always think of it as, okay, this is me getting some alone time, for myself, being better for myself. Practice mindfulness. So meditation can help you become more aware of yourself and your thoughts. I like that. Take a break from social media. Social media can sometimes make people feel more isolated. Yeah, you maybe feel like people ain't reacting or reaching out to you or commenting enough. You may feel alone. Practice gratitude. You can practice gratitude alone, such as by counting 3 good things each day. Nurture your relationships. Even if you choose to be alone, it's important to maintain connections with others. It's the difference between being lonely and being alone. Okay, I just got to say that. Develop a hobby. You can try learning a new skill or exploring a new activity. Create a comfortable space. Make your living space a place you enjoy. Stay active. Physical activity can help you feel good. Connect with nature. Spending time in nature can be beneficial. And consider getting a pet. A pet can make your home feel less empty. I like that it gave you like a brief overview of some things you can do. And that's from an AI response. I think that's pretty dope because you don't really, see stuff like that all the time. So I think that's pretty dope. Now going back to the topic at hand before I go on to the next article here, I got just enough time. When it comes to being an adult, right? Some of you are just selfish. You can't be selfish. For the most part, with being an adult, you kind of have to worry about how things you do may affect others around you because, we're not kids anymore. We don't just get a slap on the wrist and call it, then we learn from it. You got to be accountable and kind of learn from your mistakes and own your bullshit, own your fuck ups. Like we all do it. It is what it is, or we all should do it. It is what it is. Again, y'all struggling with being alone. I think the thing about that is y'all struggle with starting over. And how do you think things got created, things got made? People had to start over so many times. You know how many poems I wrote I had to start over and write from scratch because I had to make sure I had it right? You know how many times I got up there and made some content or videos and I had to start from scratch because I did something wrong where I didn't know what one part I messed up on? It happens. It happens to the best of us. Trust me, starting over is not an issue. You just have to learn that when you are starting over, it is okay to start over. Once you learn that, you'll be fine. It's perfectly fine. A lot of y'all I think y'all need therapy. Like I always say this, go to therapy. Go to therapy. It's going to help you. If it's not going to, I'm not saying it's going to fix it, but at least give you the right direction on where to go, where to get stuff done, how to approach certain things. Like it's going to help, okay? Because I'm tired of seeing y'all out here. Some of y'all are out here competing with kids. That's kind of wild to me. That some of y'all out here competing with kids, little innocent people. They don't know 2 things about life, and y'all are competing with them. That's wild to me. Whether it's your boyfriend's kids or your girlfriend's kids, or it didn't matter what, or your own kids. And if you're competing with your own kids, why the fuck did you have them? What are you doing here? What are you doing? And most of all, like nobody needs to take care of you. Be a fucking adult and take care of yourself. If you can't find the right resources that are necessary to take care of yourself, you should not be doing this adult thing yet. Maybe you need to go stay back with mom or dad or grandpa, auntie, somebody until you can get the proper advice and the proper resources and direction to be an adult. You cannot expect everybody to clean up your bullshit that you keep creating. It does not work like that. We are here to make sure we good, we take care of ourselves, we learn and we grow. We are not here to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. That's insane. It's insane. You can't. You gotta. At some point, we have to pick up our big boy pants and big girl pennies and just be like, all right, let me get my feet wet. Let me go ahead and resolve these issues one by one. Stop trying to tackle everything at once. Like I'm gonna go back to the Thanksgiving plate. Take it one dish, one side at a time before you get to the main dish. One side at a time. Take it off the plate, and then you be good. Then it's easier to clean up your plate that way. You keep going to get the macaroni to dip it in the yams, and then take the greens and get a piece of turkey to go with it. You can't do that, man. You got to take it one by one and handle your shit. I know it may be tough to say it or deal with it, but to start off, but I guarantee you, when you start walking and you keep taking those steps, it'll be a lighter walk the more you go. The easier you go, the easier the walk will be. The more you can follow it. But until y'all realize that, man, y'all gonna be stuck in these same ass patterns that y'all keep falling in without growing from them because you don't really want to do the work. You have to do the work. Can't nobody do it for you. I can't go sit you down in front of a computer and like, here, talk to this therapist. I can't say, here, come over here to this counselor, come talk to them. You got to be willing to do the work and sit up there and make the progress yourselves. Otherwise, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I guess I didn't really see the time. So I'm going to go through these very briefly here. This is just kind of like a step-by-step on what to do Number one is like, don't abandon yourself. Pretty much saying like, make sure you remember you. Take care of yourself. Do what makes you happy. Find something that kind of suits you in a way of a benefit, right? Make sure that you're not just alone. You're out here kind of like working on yourself. Again, the difference between being alone and being lonely. Okay. Connect to something greater. And that could be, how do you say it? Let me see. When you got friends that are great for you, that are there to hang out or kick it, or y'all can have great conversations or go play pool. Anything like that works. Something simple. Just connect with something that's in a better mood and better supportive system than you're already in. You want to make sure you get the right people around you to work through stuff like that. Remember that the universe always supports you. People don't believe this, but I always say that. You cannot put bad things out in the universe, because then it's going to give you back what you asked for. I try to put best of the best things out in the universe, and so far so good. I've been having some really good moments with it. I've been having some things work out for me, like it's better for it that way. I'm not actually sitting up here worrying about what I can't change anymore. Sorry, that's just not my position anymore. Another one is stay in the present moment, because we all get so caught up in what happened or what could have happened, what would have happened, what should have happened. And let's just stay in the present moment of what actually happened and what we want to do to move forward from that, or to get, better change or better progress in the future. Let's worry about that, not worry about what we can't change anymore. You know what I mean? Let's not be caught up in that anymore. Let's choose a favorite pastime. So like, for instance, reading became my favorite pastime. I would say for me, it would be, let me set aside my kids. So for me, it'd probably be video games, right? A way for me to escape reality for an hour or two, to me to come back and be like, oh, okay, woosah. Now I can worry about going about and dealing with the next thing. Let's see here. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I love this one, because a lot of us, we get uncomfortable and we want to go back and run it back, or we want to run back to what made us comfortable, right? But all we're doing is repeating a cycle that we're trying to get out of, right? Right. Okay. So learning to be uncomfortable means, for example, I always tell Diamond, when we have issues, she'd rather sit up and run and go to her mom. I'd rather leave than deal with the issues. And to me, if you leave and walking out on me, I can't really trust anything you say or do. So when you want to sit up there and you want to leave because we're in an uncomfortable time, it just makes me feel like you really don't want to be here, which I'm not going to fight you on that. If you want to be here, you don't want to be here. It is what it is. But me, on the other hand, it's like, well, her excuse is, well, I'm uncomfortable. It's like, what do you think I am? I'm uncomfortable too, but I sit here in this shit. I sit here and I deal with it, because you got to learn to be uncomfortable sometimes. Learn to deal with your shit. Learn to understand that things are going to be uncomfortable sometimes. You're not going to go through life being comfortable. That's life is not worked like that. It's not wired like that. Life is built to challenge you and make you a better person, to make you grow as an individual. Some people, we just have to realize that being uncomfortable is okay. And sitting in that uncomfortability is just a way of you learning to deal with the things that, are out of your control. Yeah, it may be uncomfortable, but until you learn how to process it right and deal with it the right way, you're going to always look at uncomfortability as a sign to run from. It's not really a sign to run from. Sometimes uncomfortability could be that change you need to grow, to be a better person. Remember, anything you do new is going to be uncomfortable. You don't know how to do it. You've never done it before. It's growth. It's new to you. So you have to be able to deal with that. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of like a same fucking toxic pattern or cycle you're going through. Another one is take yourself on a date. I hear people say this all the time. I can't go eat by myself. I can't go see a movie by myself. I can't go to the bar by myself. I mean, the bar depends on how many drinks you have. You may look like an alcoholic, but all jokes aside, you need to learn how to do those things, how to be able to go eat by yourself and watch a movie by yourself. Because if you can't take yourself on a date to say you deserve to have this, you deserve to do this, if you feel like you need somebody to go with you all the time, you're going to be very codependent. Very codependent. And codependency is not a great thing, as you may think it is. Sometimes it works out great, but it's not the best thing you want to look for, because you also want to learn how to be independent and not codependent, because you're not going to always have somebody to depend on throughout life, which is why we have this conversation. Learn to be alone. The last one, last but not least, it says to love yourself. And I say this with the most respect, the most love in my heart and everything going on. We all have flaws. Nobody is perfect. We all have flaws. You know what that means? It is okay to have some things not right and not going the way you want them to be, or not for them to be damn near perfect like you want them to be. So when you love yourself, it's okay. Maybe you don't know how to communicate the right way yet, but you're going to learn how to do it. Maybe you don't know how to sit up there and express your feelings to somebody, but you're going to learn how to do it. You have to be able to love to learn you for you and learn how to walk around those flaws that you have to make them benefit you. You know what I tell people all the time? I love my flaws because my flaws balance out with my, what do you call them? Actually, my weakness is flaws, right? I tell them my strengths balance out with my flaws. So they help each other. They help each other become better. Because I may be strong in this part of something, but I may be weak in this part. But if I put them together, I can get a decent thing done, or decent conversation, or a decent, what do you want to call it? Goal set and done. Just by the simple fact is that my strengths and my flaws and my weaknesses balance each other out. Learn how to make them combine and work together. Other than they won't seem so weak. They won't seem so fragile, but that's just me. All in all, man, I think we should all learn how to be able to be alone as adults. And I guarantee you'll be learning to be alone as an adult, whether you get a new friendship, a new partnership, companion, whatever the case may be. It'll work out so much better, so much easier for you because now you know how to truly love yourself before allowing somebody else to be the reason for your happiness. We can always create our own happiness. And look at me, man. I go through bullshit 24/7 at home or at work. And I still got a smile on my face because I love myself. I know these other problems ain't got nothing to do with me specifically or directly. I may be a part of them, or I may be I may have a hand in it, but they're not solely based off of me. And I'm happy about that, because I know that I'm not perfect, but I also know that I work and I try to be a better man every single day. Regardless of the circumstances, I want to grow and be a better individual. So, I'm not mad at myself for that. I love myself for that. And I'll always love myself for that. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to me for that. Anyway, it's been a pleasure talking to y'all again for another wonderful Wednesday. I will definitely catch y'all again next week on the same time, 4 p.m. on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Until next week, man, I'll see y'all later, man. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.